Hell hath no fury than a woman scorned, or sibling rivalry, if you check my point here. The Briscoes, obviously some respect there, an awful lot of respect. No one knows each Briscoe better than themselves. And here this evening is a major, major test for both Mark and Jay Briscoe here at Freedom Fight 2002.
And Steven, it's more than just a win at stake, because Mark Briscoe has a lot to prove. Many states, because of his young age, have limited him in competition. Athletic commissions have limited him in competition. Mark Briscoe now 18 years of age. Jay is 19 years of age. The younger brother has yet to ever defeat Jay Briscoe. It's a huge opportunity for Mark to prove his worth as a singles competitor. And look at these two. Up and over goes Mark Briscoe. Jay Briscoe drop toe hold, spins over into a float over.
An awful lot to prove. Happily, the respect is there. It's when you underestimate your opponent that you see things like slaughters, which we see quite often here in the rings of NWA Wildside. This evening between Mark and Jay Briscoe is another story altogether.
Test of strength. And both men being very fair about this match. They're being very sportsmanlike. There's nothing dirty coming across the pike in this match. Both of them were clean mat wrestling to start it out. And you know, as the matchup progresses and things get a little more intense, it's going to get a little more rough. But the Briscoe brothers are just that. They're brothers that have looked out from one another since birth. And they want to do nothing more than be the winner in this matchup. They're not going to try to injure one another. That's not the issue here. The issue is to prove who is the better athlete. And we are very pleased here at Wildside that we are giving this young team, this young tag team of brothers, the opportunity to do just that, because they have also signed on to compete for the entire year of 2002 for Wildside.
That's true. When we talk about the better man, we're talking about the better man for the evening. But here at Freedom Fight, where so many eyes of the wrestling world are on what's going on here this evening, both Mark and Jay Briscoe know their A game better be up and at 'em here this evening.
And look at how quick the counters are going. They know each other so well. They know a counter to every counter's counter, because they're brothers. They've teamed for 2 years professionally. And look at the Briscoe brothers now. Mark Briscoe in control of the older brother, Jay. And that's something that he wants to keep throughout this matchup. Mark Briscoe wants to be the winner badly because he's yet to defeat Jay Briscoe. The last time these two met was at CZW's Best of the Best tournament last year in 2001. Many people said it was the match of 2001. Said it was the very best matchup in professional wrestling in 2001. They have not done it in a year's time. And now, here in NWA Wildside, they are getting the opportunity to prove that.
As all the athletes do here at NWA Wildside, on a roll-up from Jay. Not enough for that elusive 3 count.
STF by Jay Briscoe. Collar and elbow tie up yet again. Jay Briscoe now going for a snapmare takeover. Mark Briscoe counters it with a side headlock. And look, if you watch closely, he's got the leg grapevine as well. And that is what's preventing him from getting over. Look at this. Very, very strategical maneuver. Side headlock takeover by Mark Briscoe. Jay Briscoe counters with a head scissors.
And dragging him to the middle of the ring. And dropping him on his head in the process.
And we said it was going to get a little rough at times. Look at Jay Briscoe repeatedly hammering the head of his brother down to the mat, but Mark takes him back down with another side headlock.
And you know, the fact that this is pro wrestling, I mean, tempers almost invariably flare up, whether you're brothers or not. I mean, look at all the brother tag teams and brother opponents over the years. There haven't been loads of brother opponents, but there have been more than a few.
Snapmare takeover by Mark Briscoe. Fireman's carry.
I mean, in so many ways, this is truly a pro wrestling clinic.
Well, it's exactly that, a pro wrestling clinic. Look at this. Oh, my goodness.
It's actually also a clinic of counters. That every powerful defensive or offensive move is met with a counter, a series of counters, one after another. It is truly nonstop.
And I think that's the reason it's been so difficult for either of these individuals to execute a high-impact maneuver. It's been mostly mat wrestling because they know each other so well. Mark Briscoe goes to the outside, and he's frustrated. Slides back in. Reverse Indian deathlock by Mark Briscoe. And look at Jay Briscoe counter there.
But he's still in the Indian deathlock.
Amazing.
He was just gutting it out.
Fighting through the pain of that Indian deathlock to reach over and grab a side head on his brother. Look at this. Unbelievable.
And unbelievably so, the most out-of-breath man in the match is referee Andrew Thomas.
I've never seen mat wrestling like this in all my years as a fan of professional wrestling. These two individuals know each other better than anyone.
In all honesty, a lot of the pro wrestling fans in the year 2002 have not seen pro wrestling like this. It's something to adjust to. It's something to get educated to. It is pro wrestling in many ways in its most primitive and athletic form.
There was a little shove from Briscoe to Briscoe. As I said, things were going to be getting intense. Look, Mark Briscoe is in control here. Mark Briscoe has finally, I think he's finally got his mind frame right to defeat Jay. I really think he does. Look at this. Another variation of the Indian deathlock. And Jay Briscoe fighting desperately to get to the ropes.
Sometimes there is no counter but to go to those ropes.
Sometimes the only thing you can do.
Even a couple of world-class athletes like the Briscoe brothers realize that.
Oh, and Mark with a boot to the midsection. That was the first offensive sign of aggression. That was the first dirty underhanded tactic we've seen in this matchup. Sibling rivalry now rearing its ugly head. Leapfrog by Mark Briscoe, arm drag. And there's an arm drag again. Jay counters him, look, kip up. Unbelievable.
Stop and start again. I'm sure either one of these Briscoe brothers would have loved to have won the match earlier on with some of the more straightforward and authentic pro wrestling maneuvering that we saw here, and often in the amateur and collegiate style. But now they're going to plan B, and yes, it involves closed fists, and yes, it involves swift kicks to the hamstring, and that's just the beginning, I believe.
Monkey flip, Mark Briscoe lands on his feet. Jay takes his brother's head off with a clothesline. Jay could be softening the neck up for that finishing maneuver, the double underhook pile driver known as the Jay Driller. Snap suplex by Jay Briscoe. If he weakens the neck of his brother Mark and applies that Jay Driller, there's no going anywhere for Mark Briscoe. There's no getting up. High back body drop by Mark Briscoe.
I know they're so similar in physical appearance. In all honesty, Jay Briscoe has a little bit more mass involved in him, and that could be one of the telling tail effects of this match.
Well, Jay Briscoe has the power advantage. If there is a flyer of the two, it's Mark. One of his devastating two finishing maneuvers is the 5-star moonsault.
But they're keeping this flying to a minimum here.
Mark Briscoe also likes to use the deadly version of the burning hammer he calls the cutthroat suplex.
The thing about flying maneuvering, it takes so long sometimes to set up those moves, and these Briscoes are so damn fast, they'll have already accomplished 3 or 4 moves by the time the flying maneuver takes time to finally set it up. Mercy, crotch first, into the neck of his brother, and Mark with a baseball slide into the face of Jay Briscoe. Things are getting progressively nastier, Dan.
And these two young athletes, only 18 and 19 years old, well-traveled, have been all over the independent circuit in the United States. Double belly stomp, and another by Mark Briscoe, and a knee drop. Mark Briscoe has become the aggressor in this matchup.
That could all change in a second. Everything changes in a second in a matchup featuring Mark Briscoe versus Jay Briscoe here at Freedom Fight 2002. Put on by your friends at NWA Wildside as well as our friends up at Ring of Honor.
Dug of a clothesline by Mark Briscoe, back elbow. Mark Briscoe counters, Northern Light suplex. 2 count only, Jay Briscoe kicks out.
Mark thought that count was a wee bit slow. Referee Andrew Thomas is guilty more than a few of those, but not so far here this evening, which is a treat.
What a chop by Mark Briscoe. He is lighting his brother up I cannot believe the aggressive side shown here by young Mark Briscoe. I think he's becoming a little bitter that Jay Briscoe is getting more national attention. DDT! Good grief!
Mark Briscoe hits head first right in the middle of the canvas. Andrew Thomas making sure there's still some breath going through the lungs of Mark Briscoe. Happily there is. Mercy.
Sit out reverse suplex by Jay Briscoe. Irish whip. Spinning heel kick. Knocks his brother for a loop. Oh, what a forearm shot. What a forearm shot by Jay Briscoe. Look at that neck breaker.
I am just kind of curious as to what it's going to take to put these guys down for the elusive 3 count.
Lateral press, 2 count only.
I'm going to theorize here. Obviously, it's not a flying maneuver. Keep things mat-based, and it's going to have to be an element of surprise that's going to be key in defeating either Mark or Jay Briscoe. But then again, maybe not.
Jay Briscoe charges in. Back elbow to the face. Jay Briscoe has his brother Mark hanging in the tree of woe.
Oh, God.
Baseball slide to the face.
Things seem to be going the way of the older, the slightly thicker of the 2 Briscoes. Jay is dropping all those massive forearms across the back of his brother Mark. And all in a second, it changes.
Octopus stretch by Mark Briscoe. Octopus stretch and a Russian leg sweep.
Looks like Mark wants to get a submission victory here this evening. At the rate he's going, he just may get it. But Jay Briscoe is one tough cookie. Plenty of tricks, and no one knows about the tricks of Jay Briscoe more than obviously his own brother, Mark Briscoe.
Side headlock, Irish whip, shoulder tackle. Down goes Jay Briscoe. Beautiful counter.
Interesting that Jay took care of his own momentum. He stopped his own momentum in order to reapply that headlock. Something you seldom see in Pro Wrestling 2002. However, around the Briscoe household, it might be fairly common.
Belly to back suplex, but Mark Briscoe failed to relinquish the side headlock. Now, wrestling fans today, they are so commonly used to seeing sports entertainment back suplex there by Jay Briscoe. When a true athletic contest of this nature comes along, they don't know what to think.
Hate to be one of those old fart kind of guys who talk about, wrestling in my day, yada, yada, yada.
Well, wrestling in my day was wrestling. I'm 21 years old.
And I'm more than twice that age, but I still remember the days when a simple headlock, can be applied on an opponent for times going on 10, 15 minutes, and it was exciting and daring.
Talk of a clothesline. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, face first. Oof.
Tilt-a-whirl face slam by Jay Briscoe. And Mark kicks out. Unbelievable. And fans, still to come, the Wildside heavyweight title is going to be on the line. This matchup already a classic. Sunset flip by Mark Briscoe. 2 count only.
Big chop from Jay. You know, if you were to tally up all the individual wrestling moves these 2 athletes have shown here this evening, oh my God!
Good grief!
And add an incredible lariat to the mix here, too. We're talking about a number that's fast approaching 4 digits.
I would be shocked if Mark Briscoe did not lose control of his bodily functions.
Big leg drop from Jay Briscoe. Little bit of life left in Mark.
Mark's got that pride. He's got that chip on his shoulder, that albatross of besting his older brother, because his entire life in the backyard scuffles and wrestling matches around the dinner table, it's always been Jay Briscoe, because the older brother has always had a tendency to rough up a younger brother. Mark Briscoe, now an adult, he wants to come into his own. He's 18 years of age, and he wants to defeat his older brother, Jay Briscoe, to prove to the world that he's no pushover.
I don't think anybody in this world believes that Mark Briscoe's a pushover.
Sit-out facebuster off the top rope by Jay Briscoe.
But can Jay Briscoe cover his brother for that pin? He's in the wrong place in the ring to pull that one off. I think Mark might be out for the count.
Mark Briscoe may be out cold.
There is, at this point, well.
Mark Briscoe was playing possum. Mark Briscoe was playing possum. Oh my goodness! Shining Wizard by Mark Briscoe.
That knee right to the nose of Jay Briscoe knocks him for a loop.
The finishing maneuver of KG Muto, the maneuver that's won him so many Triple Crown championships in All Japan Pro Wrestling, Shining Wizard. But Jay Briscoe is up. He's feeling the effects, but he's not down. Mark Briscoe was coming off the top. He gets crotched. What is Jay Briscoe going for here? What is he going for here?
Oh, God. That will knock a shoulder out of its socket in a split second. And that's the end of the story.
I do not believe that Mark Briscoe kicked out of that.
Mark had to dig down to depths untold in pro wrestling in order to pull that one off. We're now down to fisticuffs and very heavy slaps from both Mark and Jay. A slapathon.
It's getting a little rough in this one. The tempers are now flaring. These two individuals have put the sportsmanship behind them in favor of winning the match. German suplex. Jay Briscoe hangs on. Make it 2. Jay Briscoe hangs on again. He's got Mark 3 German suplexes. Mark Briscoe rolls through and has to take himself a powder. He has to take a breather. Mark Briscoe, if he would have stayed in the ring, would have had his shoulders pinned to the mat after those 3 German suplexes.
Could well have been, but I'm not sure if he rolled out of the ring on his own or it was just his own momentum carrying him out. Mark Briscoe might have been in a good place. But now he's back in the lion's den. And that's one rough place here to be. Ooh!
Michinoku driver! Mark Briscoe kicks out yet again!
I think we're down to a nuclear weapon. That's what it's going to take to pin any of these two guys.
Well, there's no time limit in this match. Dragon suplex! I am amazed.
The hand of Andrew Thomas was on his way down for that 3 count.
I am absolutely amazed. I am amazed at the tenacity of these two brothers. Oh, good Lord.
Jay Briscoe practically lands on his head. And Mark, he's heading north. That's perhaps that top turnbuckle.
Springboard drop kick connects right on the money.
Damn, a thing of beauty, too. Still not enough for that elusive 3 count. My God, what's it gonna take?
These two brothers cannot get enough of one another. Mark Briscoe now has Jay, and he could be going for a pile driver.
He could be going for any one of a dozen things. These guys are so gifted, they can turn the most mundane wrestling hold into a thing of beauty. Or devastation, depending on what side you're on.
Took of a clothesline. Here it comes. This is his finishing move, the cutthroat suplex. The cutthroat suplex.
And Jay Briscoe collapses like an accordion, practically folding in half. Mark Briscoe on top for that pin. Jay gets that leg over that bottom rope. If it wasn't for that bottom rope and the proximity of his body to it, this match would be over, Dan.
What ring savvy by the senior Briscoe. Mark's going for another one. A second cutthroat suplex. Jay Briscoe counters. Boot to the midsection. Double underhook. This could be the Jay Driller.
Oh my God.
There's the Jay Driller.
No! 2.95!
He's got him again. There's a second one. There's no way in hell. What a classic matchup.
Can't believe it took two.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Jay Briscoe.
A second, hold it right there. It's TNT, Todd and Tony.
What the hell is this bullshit?
We do not need this kind of crap going on here. Getting the Briscoes to fight each other here is a feather in the cap of Wildside. We don't need TNT being involved. Whoa, the Lost Boys with chairs. And Todd and Tony, that's that breeze you feel, heading for a higher ground. Or lower ground, once again, depending on your perception.
And that matchup is still to come later tonight. The Lost Boys versus TNT. Wildside Tag Team titles on the line. And look at the Wildside Tag Team champions and the Briscoe brothers